Right.
Are we going to start?
Yeah. Do you want to do a roll call, Chair?
I was going to say, can you all let Chris know if you hear you, please?
Shall I call the names out?
Do you want to? Go on then, you do.
Councillor Armstrong?
Present?
Councillor Herbert Briggs?
Yes, present.
Councillor Ryan Briggs?
Yes, present.
He's actually sitting in the same room as me, Chris.
Is he?
Yes. He's moved back in.
One of those.
Yeah.
Councillor Joe Holliday?
Yeah, I'm here.
Councillor Hilary Harrington?
Present.
Councillor Sean Melton? Yes. Councillor Stephen Stoddart?
Apologies for Councillor Stoddart. He has technical issues. He doesn't have his tablet. It's down in Allerdale still.
Sit down there. You'll be on.
Okay. Councillor Scott?
Present.
Councillor Wilkinson?
Yes, and I'll have a present as well.
Councillor Williams?
Present.
And Councillor King?
Present.
And we're joined tonight by Mr. Dendo from the Times and Star.
Right, thank you very much for that. Have we any declarations of interest? I think we have.
Not that I've heard.
None. Exclusion of the press and public to consider whether any agenda items during consideration of which the press and public should be excluded. Don't think we've got any, have we?
Not
No.
aware of any.
Agenda 4, minutes of the previous meeting. This was held on the 10th of March, and can I affirm them as a true record? Have you got a proposer and a seconder?
I'll
Yes,
propose that.
seconded.
Thank you. Agenda item 5, Jane Pitt Miners Memorial Update, and that's with you, Chris, I think, and I've
Okay.
gone.
Okay, very briefly then. So Jane Pitt, we know where we're at in terms of we're at the point of coronavirus lockdown. We were just starting to formulate a new plan in conjunction with Workington Heritage Group, who'd adopted the project as one of their own. We haven't had a chance to meet since then because of coronavirus, and Tony Waring being somewhat involved in dealing with that. The latest news really is that we will re-meet with Tony in the next week or so with Emma and have a look and see if we can decide a way forward from a funding point of view. At the moment, all funding seems to be focused on coronavirus recovery, so it does look a bit bleak at the moment, but I think we have to persevere and move that forward, but we'll decide that in the meeting and report back. There's nothing swift that's going to happen, I don't think, in the next few months.
Okie dokie.
I have my hand up, Chair.
I can't see. It's Chris
Paul's
doing
got
that
his
next.
hand up. Sorry, Chair, I'll police hands up for you.
Thank you.
It was just to mention, Chris, having had a discussion with, let me think, it'll come to me, does the football pitches in Allerdale, Rebecca Stamper.
Yes.
I knew it would come to me. She mentioned that the football pitch that's next to Jane Pitt and next to the Zebras is in the process of being transferred to the Zebras.
Yeah.
And I just wondered there, with the Jane Pitt involvement, was that an opportunity maybe where that could have been transferred to the town council?
Yep.
Is that a discussion we should have with Rebecca?
I confess a little degree of frustration with this because we started that discussion three administrations at Allerdale ago with the proposal that we take on the whole field and then sublet it back to the Zebras to manage the football pitch. I haven't heard anything more. It seems like one of those peculiar zombie projects that we mention a good idea and they go dormant, and then all of a sudden Allerdale say, "Oh, we've done this." So
as you're moving away, Chris,
and
deserting us, is that the right word, ladies and gentlemen? Deserting us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There for posterity now.
Perhaps if you put in the minutes that I'll speak to Rebecca.
Yes.
And ask for an update on that, because I do think there's a bit of mileage in that.
You could negotiate with her. That's about that. Right, the culture events programme for 2020. Oh, I don't like that word. To receive a brief update on the fate of the culture events, which were badly affected by the coronavirus emergency. We had some events, didn't we, Chris? We did some virtual activities.
We did. I've got a list here from Amy of what it is that we managed to actually carry out, and actually it was pretty good when I look back over it. What we've actually done. There's the list of things that we cancelled: Northside Family Fun Day, VE Day celebration, Workington Go Party in the Park, Mayor Making, Harrington Marina Day, the Comedy of Errors, Armed Forces Day, Get Creative, More Close Family Fun Day, Festival of Running, Moss Bay Family Fun Day, and the Vulcan Park Family Fun Day. But what we managed to do was we did a virtual programme of for Workington Grow, which was the Environment Committee programme. We did a series of workshops called Zoom for the Moon with Rainbow Jelly, which was very successful. I think we got about 300 hits for that, which was really good. We did some online quizzes and parties for children. And they're also going to do a Halloween event online, which again will be quite popular. We've done some cooking demonstrations with Helen's Herbs, which again was really quite surprisingly popular. And while they've been down in the downtime, we've set up the Town Council's YouTube page. Emma did the YouTube and web page for South Workington Youth Partnership and the Workington Nature Partnership, as I got a new website. We've started the weekly booking system for Vulcan Park. The Friends for Vulcan Park has started to have a presence online, so there's now a sort of recruitment page there for people to drop in and have a look what's going on. Walking for Health groups have started in Moss Bay and Salter Beck, and we've updated all our health and safety documentation. And Emma's just launched a new autumn-themed photography competition through the Visit Workington website, which hopefully will promote stuff in conjunction with tours of the Hall in partnership with the Helena Thompson Museum and a spooky trail around Hall Park. So there's quite a lot coming on that they've managed to do even whilst not doing what they normally do.
Very good.
I've got some notes here on VE Day. Is that on the agenda elsewhere? Yeah, that's under Remembrance
Elsewhere.
2020.
Right. Anybody got any questions on that, or happy to move on?
Have we made substantial, sorry, I'll use the hand up feature.
Sorry, Chair, I wasn't looking. Will's got his hand up.
Have we made any financial savings on that, Chris?
Yes.
How much of a financial saving have we made?
That isn't a question. That isn't an answer I can give you now, but I can find out and report back to members of the committee in the next day or so. I'll have to go back to the accounts and have an actual look against budget. So if you don't mind, I'll do that. But yes,
it seems a lot to have been cancelled, which was a substantial hit on the budget, and we seem to have cancelled them. So is there a surplus left in the budget? If
you don't mind,
that's where I'm aiming at.
I'll report back to committee members on that score, Chair. If you're
that's fine. Thank you.
I have my hand up, Chair.
Right.
Like, if you can just pass on to Amy and Emma our congratulations on her thinking about many online things that they've done as well, because I know they've worked hard to get out there what they have got out there,
and I think the public appreciate that. Right, thank you very much. Moving on to Remembrance 2020. I've had a talk with Amy, and she's told me we're waiting for an update from the Legion headquarters as to find out what they're coming up with to see what's the best way forward. But what were you thinking, Chris, about that you were saying this afternoon about?
Well, also, the Chair, Amy had a meeting with Peter at the at St Michael's this afternoon.
This afternoon.
And that was very much on the lines of what will happen down at St Michael's on Remembrance Sunday. They are taking quite a pessimistic view, especially with today's news about reducing numbers in meetings possibly being floated by the government, that it seems unlikely that they're going to be back in having proper church services, and therefore the Remembrance Day service couldn't take place, or couldn't be planned to take place at the moment in the way that we usually have it. So what Peter is suggesting is a sort of open church day where people can come in and they can control numbers, and obviously, you know, it will have a remembrance theme throughout the day. And I think that's probably what we're going to have to end up doing at the Cenotaph, which is because we can't control numbers into the park. What we could do is allow people to put in wreaths at certain times, so we could stretch out a time period where people could put wreaths by the Cenotaph, but not all at once in the traditional way, because clearly at the moment having more than 30 people gathering in the park for remembrance would be firstly in contravention of the current regulations, and it seems likely that by November we're not going to be in any better position. I know there's a lot of moves to try and free up events by the early October, but as I say, the downside is what's been announced today, which is actually they seem to be going in the opposite direction.
Thank you. So we'll just have to hang fire with that one. We've got the Christmas Festivals 2020. Now, would you like me to read out the background, as you haven't got an agenda, Hilary, in that? Or are you aware of what the background was?
Well, it would be nice to hear you just read it out, Carol, please.
Right, okay. The council budgeted to spend £20,000 on the Christmas festival, which accompanies the switching on of the Christmas lights at the end of November, beginning of December. However, following an appraisal of the various risk assessments required for this event during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, officers are recommending that, in line with other towns, the festival does not go ahead. Instead, suggested the budget is veered to alternative areas, and it's got the variations underneath. We've got £6,000 for the infrastructure costs for new lights, with a breakdown of those costs. That's for the lights down at the town train station and that. There was £5,000 for the COVID-19 memorial, £2,500 for a live stream event or a Santa visit to school or something else. And then there was one where we could spend up to £500, which I don't agree with. Marketing, Workington as the place to come. I think the town centre manager should be marketing, shopping in the set, but that's up to you to decide. So there you go. Can I have some feedback on that, please? And I haven't got control of the hands up.
Well, I'll just come in and say, for me, I don't think we need to advertise Workington as the place to be for Christmas.
You're right.
Obviously, depending on the whole coronavirus and how it all works, we could end up with a potential of another lockdown coming on board. I also think, having spoke to one or two teachers in schools, their consideration of this was, would we really want people coming in out of various schools with the possibility of transmission from one school to another school? Because each school have sort of nestled in as a bubble, if you like.
Yes.
And obviously they don't want them passed from bubble to bubble to bubble to bubble. So I'm unsure on that one as well, really. But that's just my thoughts.
That's fine. Anybody else coming in with?
Yeah.
Will?
I have. Well, I'm trying to phrase this correctly, Carol. My wife works.
Please do not swear, you are on live.
I am not going to swear. My wife actually works in a place where a member of staff has tested positive for COVID. This thing's coming back to bite us on the bum.
Absolutely.
Christmas light switch on. I think we should just draw a red line through it now. we can't have social gatherings. So although, yes, I'm not saying do not switch the lights on. What I'm saying is we do not have any social gatherings whatsoever.
We could have a virtual switch on.
Yeah.
It's not over.
It's
It's
not.
far from over. I have a stepchild here who can't even go to school just because her mother works in the same building as someone that's tested positive. And my wife has tested negative, but we still can't even get the young lass into school. I think it's going to come back, and it's going to come back worse. We need to draw lines in things now and say, this is it. The amount of organisation that needs taken prior to these events, it's got to be, you know, we've got to draw a line.
Absolutely. I think we'd be seen to be reckless if we went ahead. Anyway, can I ask somebody to propose and second that we do not go ahead with a switch on as in previous years?
I'll propose that, Carol. I already have done.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Can I just say, Carol, can I
Yes.
just come in there? There was a gentleman called James Cowan. I don't know whether you know James, but he run the virtual festival for Workington through summer, and they raised over £10,000 or something for charity, or £20,000 for the hospice to home. It was, I think it was.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, is it something that you may want to look at with regards to a Christmas festival online?
I think it's something we can pass to Amy and ask her to follow up on.
I just think, I mean,
He
he actually
went
went, after the discussion me and Chris had about community radio, he's actually gone away and set his own community radio now called Easy Radio. And it's doing quite well. He's got quite a lot of listeners, and he's
well, it's
really,
maybe a discussion we could have. If you could get him in touch with Amy and have a talk and come up with some figures and facts for us, that'd be great.
Can I ask as well?
What was his name again, Paul?
Like
James Cowan.
James Cowan, that was it.
Janet?
If they were raising any money, could any of that go towards the
I
mayor's
was going to
charity?
just say, is there any chance we could put, so if we do that, can we, and we do it for charity, could it be for the mayor's charity?
I would second that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Because we're struggling.
Even a virtual light switch. It's not hard to do if somebody's online.
So,
Got a phone there, and they phone somebody and the lights go.
Doing it, say, from the Carnegie, possibly. Because Janet will be doing a Christmas card competition for the kids. And you could actually have the child at the same time with Janet sort of at the Carnegie stage, or even in the town hall, and switch them. I mean, switch them on anywhere, can't you?
As with all technology now, it doesn't matter where we are, as long as there's live stream, that's all there is to it.
Absolutely.
And I've got to say, James has been very good at it. I think he had something like 30 singers over 2 days, and he had it all perfectly lined up.
All right, Paul. You've sold us, Paul. We'll go down that route. Right. Agenda item 9: the Christmas lighting 2020.
Sorry, Chair. I just want to go back to there was a suggested environment under Christmas Festival. Once we have cancelled the light switch on, are we happy with the proposed? We take out the 500 quid for marketing, but 2.5k for the live stream, 5k for COVID, and 6k for the new lighting infrastructure. Are we happy with that?
Well, the memorial, I don't know what we're doing with that, because that's further down.
Oh, we're on about Christmas lights.
The Christmas lights, there's £6,000 for that, so I think that should go ahead. That's for down at the thing, isn't it? The train station.
That will help us set up the train station. As you can see, the cost of the train station setup are about are listed somewhere on a piece of paper that I don't seem to have, but they are listed.
Councillor Harrington's waving a hand. Sorry, Chair.
There.
Yeah, okay, come on. On the one for the Christmas lights for the railway station, can we not get Cumberland County Council coming to pay some money towards that? They are responsible.
They're not leaping towards the spending of money on Christmas lights, Hilary.
We could send a letter out and asking them to do so. The name is Warren Birch. He's responsible for all advertising.
Yeah.
A letter there, please.
We can ask Warren. If we haven't already asked Warren for a contribution, I'm sure we can, but I know what his answer will be.
Well, we could try again, and because he hasn't contributed anything towards flowers at Harrington this year, so there should be some in the basket kind of thing to be spent on that instead of using all our money up when they're quite capable of doing
in terms of the environment. Are we happy with that environment? It's only broad budget.
Can we have an answer, please, on what I've asked about the station, though, Chair, please?
Yes.
What is your answer on that one, please?
He's going to send a letter now.
I'm going to send a letter to Warren Birch.
Yes.
See if they'll help.
Yeah.
But he doesn't hold out much hope.
Thank you.
So are we happy with this Christmas festival money? With £20,000, we've got 6 we've decided is going on the infrastructure. And then there's nothing else. We can save it.
What was the Christmas festival one again? What were you wanting to do with £2,500?
That was for live streaming, for meeting with. That would help with James Cowan and his.
Yeah.
You don't pay for live streaming though, please.
No, these are arbitrary budget figures. You can trim them down if you like.
Okay.
Amy sent me out a budget for the 20,000, being the Christmas lights was 6. There was 5,000 towards the memorial. There was 2,000 for Christmas activities, 2,500 for Christmas marketing, and contingency of 4,500. So if we're guaranteed we're going to use the Christmas lights, the 6,000, could we just put the rest on hold until we find something?
Yeah.
The
rest can be. I mean, if you like. I mean, those are slightly random things, and
yes, they are just a bit.
We can hold those until, given that we know we're not. We've got a meeting in November when we can distribute that money.
Yes. So you're all happy with that?
So just the Christmas lighting is.
Can I have a proposer and a seconder for that, please?
I'll propose it, Madam Mayor. Sorry.
Sorry,
Madam Chair.
Those were the days.
Call us out you like. I'll answer to anything. Right. Repairs to Finkel Street. Further remedial work is required on Finkel Street where a lighting column requires replacement. Cumbria County Council are proposing to carry out this work for £2,300.
Madam Chair, can I just take it back, please?
Mm-hmm.
We had a proposal, we didn't have a seconder. So we're jumping the gun here.
I think we did.
I seconded.
Sorry, our Honourable Lady Mayor, I did not hear that. That's why I was taking it back a step.
Is that an apology for me as well, Will?
An apology to you, Madam Chair. I did not hear.
Thank you very much.
I didn't hear either.
Right. So we've got this county council proposing to do the works of 2,300, and then we've got an addition to the railway station viaduct, Cumberland Hotel. Further work is required to install the lights, and the budget needed to identify the following works that will be carried out by the Christmas lighting contractor. And I think we've got some paperwork, haven't we?
Oh, we do.
With the 3 contractors on. One being McGrange, one being JJ Electrical, and the other is SJ McGuckin. Can I have some thoughts on that, please, councillors?
Is it appropriate to be naming these contractors?
Sorry?
Is it appropriate to be naming these contractors?
Well, it's out there in the public domain. We've just got it.
Through the chair, please.
Who's that?
Sure.
Brian.
Brian.
Can I just inquire how much the permits are, please? The cost of the permits.
What permits?
The permits required to do the work. It says in the JJ Electrical quote that the permits
Yeah, the
Who is
permits
that for?
the permits is JJ said they'll need scaffolding, so they need a scaffolding permit.
Right.
Just bear with me, I'll tell you the cost of a scaffolding permit. I haven't got it off the top of my head.
Can I assume that the other ones are using something other than that?
One's got a cherry picker, and one's got a mobile tower scaffold. But the first one,
Which again, they would need a permit for if they're
Yeah,
using mobile.
They all need permits.
they all
It's
need
just
permit. But the JJ electrical one has got the permit included,
in the
whereas the
cost.
others have got a lot of hidden costs, I think.
Quite a difference in
This is
price, though,
something
isn't
we
there?
should be discussing with the press being there.
We can always let me just get the fees and charges. Just sorry. Cumbria County Council.
Well, we need a new town clerk. This is not on.
I know it's terrible, isn't it?
Sorry, Chris.
Just waiting.
Projection of buildings over highway, 315 quid.
That's the permit,
That's for the permit.
and that's included in the quote from JJ Electrical, but would need to be added on to the others.
And it might need a streetworks consent, which is another 355 quid.
Right.
There's quite a considerable difference in the charging, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, it is. The difference. I think the third one, I think that's a Mickey Mouse number myself. But it's up to you. What do you think? Have you all read it and had a think about Janet?
I don't think I've got that.
No, Janet, I do apologise. I don't think the agenda I gave you this afternoon included that information.
Sorry. Right.
Right. Come on, it's a big decision.
Is it possible to send me a quick email, Chris? Please?
Yeah, just bear with me.
Thanks. I don't know how to.
You're going to botch this, Janet.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
How very rude.
give me a slap him later. I hope that's not a pound to be. You've got in front of you, Councillor Briggs.
It is Summer Fruits, Councillor Armstrong.
Oh,
It's a new lemonade from a reputable lemonade company.
very good.
Summer Fruits cordial.
Very nice. On this mag range, if you read it, it says estimate made without a site visit. And then further down, it says we've been on a site visit. So have they or haven't they, Chris?
To be honest, Chair, I don't know. I'm just going to drop us out of recording this so we don't commit this this discussion to the internet forever and posterity.